So we're live, and now I gotta let everybody know on this one. Go to this one. It's okay.
How do you do that?
I'm going to put the link in. It says, go to this live chat. So we are live. Yep, we are. No one's on yet.
Yep. I figured they don't know where you're here.
Right. Somehow they find me every time. Upload the thumbnail. And tell people to go to this one.
Are you sending that out? Or
Yeah, I'm just going to put it on there and say, hey, we're over here. They're probably all sitting over there. I was like, go to the other one. Go to this one. Couldn't get it to work.
You remember Kelly? Okay.
Hi, Kelly.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you, too. I'm having technical fun.
Oh, I'm no help in any of it.
Yeah, you said
I barely know the password.
We're good. Somebody's on. 1, 2. Oh, they're coming. They're coming.
And you already sent it to the other one already?
I am going to do that now.
Excellent.
So you guys need anything?
I am so happy. I am.
Thanks.
Sure, that's great.
I am. We're live. I'm going to take this and share it with everybody. There's got to be a way to do it. 5 people. No one's typing yet. I'm going to say go to the other one.
Can you send me that link too? I'll send it out to some folks.
There's got to be a way to do it. I'm trying to.
Oh, I see.
Live. So it says we're live. Share. So I will say go here. I'll say go here. Go to this link. I'll send it to you. This is the new one that's up and running. Everybody hear me okay? We got 6 people on. I've already bet Mark that he will have more people on here than me.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. Who we got? Nick Wendell. My boots are not still sticky because I threw those away. Threw them away, my friend. Now that's a guy you got to meet, Mark. He launches pumpkins.
Where's he coming? Where is he at?
He's outside of Buffalo. And
What does he use to launch pumpkins?
A trebuchet.
Well, what else would you use to launch
Right.
pumpkins? Let's see.
Bob's on. Did you guys have any trouble? Did you guys try getting on the other one and it didn't work? I'm just curious. I don't know how to do live streams from my phone. But once you set up a live stream with your phone on mobile, you can't switch it over to your computer. So I had to make a whole new one. And now I'm trying to go through everything that I posted, and people are probably sitting over there waiting.
What else we gotta get this to?
We'll wait a few more minutes. Where's everybody from? I love doing this. We are in Westlake, Ohio, at Mark's house. And we'll tell the story again, but for the 8 people that are watching, we are going on a little mini road trip tomorrow to Chicago. You used to live there.
I did live there. Yep. And yet I've never was at Goose Island.
You've never been to Goose Island?
But I do have a good Goose Island story.
I want to hear it.
I'll tell you when I tell it now, or should I wait for it? It's not a good Goose Island story. It's just my Goose Island.
Your Goose Island story.
Which is, I guess, a good Goose Island story.
Any Goose Island story is a good Goose Island story.
Yeah.
But Mark graciously, I've never had a bourbon barrel aged Christmas ale.
It's new this year.
It's a bourbon barrel aged Christmas ale. I don't know. We're probably violating YouTube policies.
Is that true?
I don't know.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, your glass is behind the thing there.
I got a Great Lakes glass here. And we're probably violating all sorts of rules.
So then we're just having a
I
barrel
don't know.
aged regular ale.
Is this against? Why isn't Mark wearing flannel? It's underneath. It's underneath.
I will be tomorrow for the voyage.
You have to.
And then Saturday, I assume Saturday,
Yeah.
we should have put that on I know we'll talk about that after, but I wonder why on Craft Maple Brewfest we didn't put on there.
Must wear flannel.
Yeah, like black tie optional, like flannel requested, flannel advised.
Yeah. So we got Nick, Bob. Well, I'm up here in northeastern Vermont. What's the weather like up there? I heard my dad was saying Cody, Wyoming is like anything from like 0
Snow or-
yeah, like 0 to 28. I don't know.
How about in Tomahawk, Wisconsin? What's the weather up there? You know anybody from Tomahawk?
No.
Bill Roloff.
Is he there now?
He's from Tomahawk, not there now, but
I thought
he's heading there. 54 degrees?
34.
34 degrees. Better question of why isn't Mark wearing flannel? It should be why isn't Mark wearing his glasses?
Yeah.
That's a
This is
different-
not good. You're supposed to help me with all the
I can. I get the 4 right and degrees. I got most of the thing.
Uh-oh, we lost one. We lost one already.
Must have been the flannel.
Let me see if I can get this over to, let's see, Facebook. I'm going to update this.
42 degrees today. 74 yesterday. That's what he said. That's what Bob said. Same way here. Winter started here today for sure.
All right, so I updated the Facebook link. That should be working. 6. Well, what are we talking about? 42 degrees, 74 yesterday. It was like, there was some nice warm weather.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
What I think that's called.
Indian summer.
Is that? Can you still call it that?
I don't know. I always heard it in like September.
Yeah.
October, Indian summer.
But that's it though. Right now it's real winter. When does winter start?
I don't
Is
know.
it
December.
December 21st?
I thought it was December 21st.
Yeah, that's probably right. But I tell you what, it felt like it today. Starting to drop. There you go.
December 22nd. Does it change from year to year? Like some sort of like
Winter equinox.
yeah. 20 miles from Goodrich. Okay, which location? They have what? Eden, and then the original. Haha. You can't call it that.
That's what I said. I didn't know. What do they call it? What do they call it in Noblesville, Indiana, when it gets really warm and then get right before winter comes?
I'm glad Mark's here.
That's your buddy.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming this weekend.
I'm excited about it.
Yeah, he's fired.
Did
up.
you tell him what I said?
I didn't tell him. I
Yeah,
said,
if I was ever going to run for president, Mark would be my first cabinet. He's a trustworthy guy.
oh, for sure.
He's going to tell you the truth, but he'll say it in a loving way.
That's my whole relationship with him is telling me things I don't want to hear, but him telling it in a loving way. Farmer's fault. That's the answer to the question.
Bill's teeing us up for Brewfest questions.
Yeah.
The question is how many beers will be at the Brewfest in Jefferson? And the answer to that is too many.
Yeah.
Too many. That is a possible thing.
I lost count too, by the way. And
Yeah, it's supposed to be like 2 per brewer, and they're like, there's like 4. Like people are just having a good time bringing out a lot of beers, and it's not even.
I guess the question is, how many brewers are we up to?
I don't know.
Probably at least 10, I would think. was
Yeah.
Last count.
It's a lot.
Does everybody here know about that already?
I don't know. Some people 9.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
You could have just said 10 and gone with us on that one, Bill. But
The most unique or the most rare brew that what would it be? Are you talking in general or at this event?
I bet she's talking about the
Anything
event. Yeah.
from Toppling Goliath is hard to get. So we have there. It's the number 1 rated beer on Beer Advocate, and they're having some sort of a variation of that.
So let's start. How about the event, though?
I did, Bob. I did. It is, and I don't know if we're violating any YouTube policy, but Mark had a Christmas ale, Great Lakes Christmas ale, one of the original Christmas ales.
Brand new this year.
Yeah, this is a barrel aged version. And
So-
just when I look at the can, it makes me think of the Christmas Story, which I just saw. There's a second one coming out.
And
Did you
that's
see
something?
that?
I saw the. Yeah, I saw the.
Didn't they film it around here somewhere?
You mean the original or the?
Yeah,
second
the
one?
original one.
Yeah. So you've not been to the
I
Christmas
have
Story
not
House?
been to the Christmas Story House. For those of you that
That's
don't
next-
live in the area,
another
Cleveland
filter.
is where the Christmas Story was filmed.
Yeah, the house is there, the original house. They say it's on Cleveland Street, but it's a fictitious. Do you know the name? You've seen the movie 100 times.
I have.
Do you remember the name of the town? Hammond, Indiana.
Oh, really?
That's what I'm pretty sure. Is it Hammond, Indiana? I'm pretty positive that's what they said.
Everybody on this,
Or that's what it's modeled after.
everybody on this live chat needs
Terre
to.
Haute.
That was the name of the town.
Yeah, no, Hammond, Indiana. Yeah, Hammond. Right. But so it's a fictitious town that they made up, but it's filmed in downtown or right in downtown Cleveland, like the opening scenes when they do the parade in the beginning and they do the windows. That's the old maze windows
So far,
downtown.
John, will we have barrel-aged Christmas nail event? Great Lakes is not coming. It's not that we didn't ask. It's not that they said no. It's just we didn't ask.
Next year.
There was so many, like, what do you call it? Legacy, like people that have been to the event that we felt obligated to ask first. So people that have been there before kind of get first right of refusal. And 10 beer. It's just, we didn't ask Great Lakes yet.
So here's the thing with this beer, though, for a second. Not that we should be promoting their thing, but here's the thing, right? This is what I'm amazed for everybody that's ever had a Christmas ale, which is notoriously known as an incredibly strong beer.
Yes.
You have one, great. Two, if you can make it through three, you're probably speaking some sort of alternate language, right? But then somebody said, this is the way I imagine it. What could we possibly do to make this stronger? Let's put it in bourbon barrels.
Right.
So they're selling it around here now, 4 cans for an ungodly amount of money. But I just picked it up the other day because I knew I was going to be on this with Nate, and I thought what would get us in the mood for Craft Maple Brew Fest. That's for everybody that doesn't know all this conversation about the event. I think most people know, right? But
John
people
does.
are asking, John, do you remember John?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming from Missouri for the event.
Holy crap.
Yep. And so he'll be back in Cleveland. He's got a 48-hour passport that allows him to be in for 48 hours, and then he's got to get back out, but he's coming. But anyway, so Craft Maple Brew Fest is on Saturday, and all these brewers are going to be there with all these great beers, most of them inspired by maple, shocker.
Yeah.
And guys that, folks that you've had partnerships with, which is cool.
For years.
And we're excited about it. And Lake Erie Council is fired up about this because we get to
you do bourbon, you do stogie, like all of the, I guess if you could tell people,
yeah,
I know half of them are here for you already and know who you are, but the other half that are here for me and Bissell Maple Farm. So Bob, I thought I saw some Nick, some people are listening but yeah, as of right now, we're tied. There are equal amounts of people here that have taught. Oh, Jacob,
there you go.
3-2.
I thought we were on the same team.
We're on the same team.
Same team.
I have a question for Bob real quick. Bob, when you saw that video of us getting that maple equipment there in Danville, it's near Cabot, right? So near Cabot. Was that the first video that you watched, or did you see other ones? I'm just it's a curious question. But yeah, tell your story.
Well, the story is that, the story starts, this event story, and then I'll wrap it into the other event, starts with the fact that for all the folks that know Nate out there, you may not know that one of the things that Nate does is he volunteers on the local scout board. And he's been on our board for the last couple of years. We do a lot of projects together. In fact, he's from the good people that brought you Scout's Own. So we make syrup from sap at Beaumont Scout Reservation. And then that sap goes over to Bissell Maple Farm. And so the Scouts are involved with that whole process. And they're making their own syrup, and then they're able to sell that to be able to pay their way in scouting, get to camp and all that stuff. And so Craft Maple Brew Fest, which in a little bit of a different form has been in existence prior to COVID.
Correct.
A great event for a couple of years. This year coming back as a partnership between Bissell Maple Farm and Lake Erie Council. And so it's kind of odd, right? When you think about it, it's a scouting event that's got all of this beer.
Right.
The kids are not there, obviously.
Correct.
The scouts are not part of the
event. This is an adult event.
Adults only, or at least we should say that you have to be 21. Adults is a relative thing. But we've used some of these events successfully to attract folks that otherwise we might not attract, right? Where we get to talk to people that are super interested in beer. They may not know, or maple, or whatever it is. They live out in that area in Jefferson.
Or the food. I mean, the food's ridiculous.
The food is lights out. All of these maple. This Bill Roloff, who's on the view tonight, or on the chat today, is doing his magic like he does at these events, and Maybe he'll even put in the chat for us some of the stuff that he's going to be featuring. I know there's maple inspired, everything you can possibly put maple into. We're going to have that night. He was there at Beaumont today doing some ribs that I heard, some of his famous ribs. So.
Is he making like test runs?
No, this is the real deal. This is it. This is
Saturday.
showtime, buddy. This you don't start ribs on Saturday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'm
a maple farmer. I don't know.
So it's go time. So anyway, that's what's happening on Saturday. So Craft Maple Brew Fest back and bigger this year, and we are fired up about it.
Maple candied bacon, which is ridiculous.
And the bacon's his signature. His signature anyway.
Oh, you saw the most recent one, Bob. Awesome. Elizabeth Davis. Hello, fellas. If you need a loon collar at the event, I can hook you up.
Do you think we'll need a loon collar?
What is a loon collar?
That's
that's like a duck, or what is a loon?
It is a fowl.
Okay.
It's a loon, but if you've not heard a loon call before, you've not lived, and I would think that there ought to be a loon call at Craft Maple Brew Fest.
So is it? So you have to use to make the sound, just like a duck call.
It kind of, except for it's completely done. At least the ones that I've seen by Miss Elizabeth Davis. I have witnessed the loon call before, and it is something you should experience.
So we are tied 3-3 now.
Is that right?
Yeah, we are tied 3-3.
Did you count Elizabeth Davis in that?
Yeah. Well, yeah, she's your third.
Well, Bill, we kind of split Bill, though, I think, right?
That's true, but
you might have known Bill before I knew Bill.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
You guys were
like almost a decade ago.
Yeah, Bill's been up in this area for like 12 years.
So this actually will become forever in the internet, like
the annals of time.
Yes,
forever.
Everything we do will be out there forever.
Yeah, which is horrifying and comforting at the same time.
Watch the movie on the Golden Pond. What I need everybody to do is hit the thumbs up, because that'll tell YouTube to promote this and make sure, one of the tough things is you have to kind of back out and then come in and hit the thumbs up. And that'll give us more, It'll remind more people that already follow the channel to, it'll give them a nudge.
But it's like an algorithm, right?
I know maybe everybody's watching the voting results. We were kind of wondering, doing this on the Tuesday here with all the voting, what would happen, but maybe people.
Is that why you're so wrapped up in who's winning you got election fever, and so you're
my wife had an election tonight, and her I went to the theater practice, and she had the kids vote. So yes, I got Kevin.
Nice job.
4-3.
Dr. Vanek says hello.
Awesome.
You've shot with him a couple times. That's awesome.
I get. We text each other quite often, actually.
That's awesome.
He's a funny sense of humor.
Yeah. He told us good jokes that first time we ever shot. Oh yeah, great jokes.
I think he has a photographic memory on jokes.
Probably on everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guy's a super sharp guy. Big scouting supporter as well. So
Kevin's on. Kevin, was it hard? I had the same problem this time that I had last time, that I schedule it on my phone and it won't let me switch from mobile to the computer. Good. Thumbs up. See, we went up 4 already.
And how do you know, by the way, speaking of that, is our folks still over on the other one? How do you know our folks over there? Or they would have got.
I never started it. I don't think it's.
Yeah.
That's a question for people on there. Did they get on the original one?
Yeah.
And then get frustrated. That's the only thing that I worry about is people get frustrated and go, "What the heck?"
So Bill's been tantalizing us. Is tantalizing?
That's accurate.
With this maple brioche cupcakes, maple bourbon bread pudding, Bissell Brussels sprouts. That's an odd collection of those 3 things. Like, I get that they're maybe the bread pudding, but
you should just call them Bissell sprouts. Just get rid of Brussels.
That's brilliant, by the way.
It's shorter, easier to say,
and people would probably
another Elizabeth. So yeah,
it's not the same
my fantasy football notices are coming up.
How are you doing in fantasy football this year?
We were dead last, and now moved up to 9th with a good week.
Who was this? Your son?
No, it's a friend from high school, Shane. We just kind of split a team.
Co-manager team.
Yes, and
which is good because sometimes
Well, it's
fantasy
splitting the
football teams-
risk, right? So it's a $75 buy-in,
Oh, I see.
and I like to share teams because
Yeah.
then you can like double check yourself. Like, hey, what do you think?
Right.
If it's one guy, you're
It's
at
a lot of
fault for
pressure.
everything. Yeah.
It's a lot of pressure managing a fantasy football team.
This link.
Bill
popped up
knows
as
about
a
that.
notification on my phone. Good.
Bill and I played in a league last year, and the
How'd you
championship
do?
came down to Bill and I.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was down the last
How
game.
many people were in the league too?
Yeah, maybe 2 and maybe like the dog I think, or something. I think there was like 6 or 8 of us.
Your dog did a good job of protecting the house.
Yes, she was not for those who follow Maggie out there. She gave Nate some business when he tried to get in the house today.
Is she usually that protective,
That's her gig.
or am I a little bit more like this guy could really mess up my house and I'm gonna protect it?
He does not like hats, but I chose
really?
not to tell you that because that's part of your thing.
It is.
You're
It
not
is.
gonna be like you're just getting ready for being on the internet. You know,
Giant soft
she doesn't
pretzels
like that.
with maple mustard. So what
I
I
know
can
that
do?
this has been going like he's been putting these up for like 10
Yeah,
minutes
I
straight.
figured
That's how
he'd
much
run
food-
out.
No, there's
some
no
point.
running out. What do you think about Bissell sprouts though?
Bissell
Bill?
sprouts.
Do you think we can make that change? Like have
Bissell sprouts.
we'll have the signage redone to just say Bissell sprouts?
That's fine.
I think it's a great idea.
Oh.
So
What were
thing,
you
though-
saying? People they saw you were sending the link to people about this.
Yeah.
And they saw Sapchat and they thought instantly,
Yeah.
Snapchat.
Yeah, 3 people that I sent it to. I said, "Hey, I'm going to be on this with Nate. They know you. They know me tonight." And I got 2 immediate responses, and then 1 delayed response. That one was, "I don't have Snapchat," and the other one was, "I don't do Snapchat." And I said, "No. If you look at it quickly, though,
It does.
it's Snapchat."
So that was my son's idea on Sunday. He showed me that I'd never even seen the Snapchat like icon.
Yeah.
And it looks like a white ghost outline on
right.
yellow.
You did the
So I just like took we just used a leaf, but it sure looks like it.
yeah. So was that the not the intention, but obviously you're
I'm kind of waiting for like lawyers to like send me an email.
So in the last 48 hours, we've had multiple conversations about things that you're doing online that you think might. That sounds well. Let me start that over. Like there's lots of things that happen that you're like, I might be right on the edge, like the beer or whatever it is.
Oh, peaches,
millions of peaches. You thought you were going.
So
away
what
for a long
happens
time
is YouTube has like this AI that if you put something out, they are listening for any music that already exists by another artist. But one of the things that happens is if you're talking over the music, it'll allow you to use it. So say you're at a baseball game and you're making a video and over the baseball game, there's a music playing like AC/DC.
Can't do anything about it.
Yeah, can't do anything about it. As long as you keep talking, YouTube will be okay.
Right.
So what happened is that day there was enough rain hitting the metal roof
that you think
that it caused
flew
enough.
under the
Yes,
radar.
it caused enough like sound that the AI was like, okay.
You're talking about the specific part, not when you were singing it. That would have been fine.
That would have been
Specific
fine.
part when you showed Austin on your phone and you play it, and that was the
Yeah.
part where you might have gone too far.
So there was enough noise that it allowed us to actually use it.
Yeah.
And I just picture like the Matrix. Remember when they're like hiding and those things are like going through the tunnels looking for him, and everybody's like, "Be quiet."
Yeah, don't move.
And they're like these giant tadpole looking things. Like,
and you did it.
that's kind of like what it feels like.
You escaped it. That's impressive. Beating the AI is you got a future in it.
Yeah, until they send back a T-800 back in time to take me out.
And that'd be good.
Skynet.
At which point I would say I was only on 1 episode, so I'm not,
Yeah,
I
you don't
get involved in that whole thing.
Are you John Connor?
These are not the
YouTube.
terms you're looking for.
Yeah. So here we go.
Yeah.
So Bob. So yes. So Nikki Boxer has the biggest YouTube channel for maple, and during the maple season, most of my new viewers come from her channel. It's actually amazing. So she has a channel called Maple Farmer, and it's the most popular maple syrup channel by far.
How does it happen though? When you say they come from her channel, how do they?
So I can look in the analytics and it'll tell me like where are viewers coming from? What are they watching? And you'll find like there's like 8 to 10 channels that people concentrate, and they'll say your viewers are mostly watching these channels.
Oh, interesting.
And they're all channels that I like, for the most part, like 80% of them I do watch. So like Sawmill channels, Tell us about the Sap dunk tank. Well, it was really a syrup dunk tank. But since this is Sapchat, I can understand the confusion. So, yeah, we did a maple syrup dunk tank for a fundraiser. I always wanted to swim in maple syrup, so that's what I did, and found a good cause to do it, to actually do that for. So it was fun. It was like it was like being caressed. Like when you went in, like it wasn't like hitting water. Like water's 8 pounds per gallon, maple syrup's 11. So like when you went in, it was like there was a lot more pressure because it's heavier.
Yeah.
But you really
You
kind
go
of
right to the bottom.
like you didn't like it was like kind of slower. Like it kind of slowed you down.
It's not a plunge. It's more like a.
You would just sink.
Yeah. Do you think about when you say things out loud like I've always wanted to swim in maple syrup? Do you realize that you're in a rarity of folks, or do you think that a lot of people say those kinds of things out loud?
There's probably a handful.
Yeah, I don't think.
And the other ones,
you're the first.
The other ones won't say it.
Yeah.
There's a handful that would
there's
like
people
to.
who think it, and then there's people that say.
I think I'm it. I think I'm it. Yeah. I should be in the Guinness Book of World Records. I think that's it. Well, me and the president of Wood-Mizer and my son Ben were the only 3 that's ever done it that I know of.
Yeah.
Or that would admit it.
I remember the first time I told you this story. It was in New York when we were having a conversation. You were not in New York. We were on the phone. And we were talking about Craft Maple Brew Fest. And
I wanted to do it originally at the Brew Fest.
Yeah, but we were going through this whole conversation about logistics. And you said, I got this crazy idea. I want to have a maple dunk tank. And I'm like, this has gone too far. We are at the point of no return. There's going to be a maple dunk tank.
And my team, they kind of shut it down, but I understand their concern.
Yeah. And I asked you, what if something goes wrong, what could go wrong? And do you remember what your biggest concern was? I'm sure it was
their words specifically, the technical term my quality team used at the time was the words body funk. That's the words they used. Do you remember that?
You did use that. That was 2 things I had heard for the first time.
Yeah.
And then
I'd never heard that before. Bees. Oh, I was worried about bees. Yeah. I'm fortunate it was cold.
Yeah. That could have gone in a bad way quickly, right?
Yes. There were some, but it was cold enough. Like if I do it again next year. So if you've never been to the Paul Bunyan show, it is the biggest industry show for like timber forestry equipment, like chainsaws. I mean, they had a helicopter there that cuts tree lines for cool. I mean, it's just amazing. It's the biggest in the country. And we brought in an evaporator and just boiled off water and a little bit of syrup for, the smell.
Right.
And we became a landmark. So people would say, where's such and such booth?
Yeah.
They would say,
go to
find the steam.
Yeah. I love
it. And it's right next to the steam. So we were next
to have a thing.
Logrite, Wood-Mizer, Easton Made. Like people use us as a landmark. And I think, that we'll be back because of that.
That's pretty cool. And is there, so I don't, you might not be surprised. I don't know a lot about Paul Bunyan shows and all that kind of stuff. So are there a bunch of these things? Like, is there a future for?
There's one in New York State
across the country. Like you can
like travel.
Yeah, the traveling sap tank.
That syrup will get rather salty.
Syrup tank. Yeah.
The salt. You'll have to monitor the salt content. Once the salt gets up to a certain nope, there's been too much Nate in this syrup. You got to switch it out. It's all about sodium.
Yeah.
And just send it in for sodium test.
Fair enough.
Was it warm syrup? No, Bob, it was cold. That was the biggest problem, as I wanted to stay as long as I could.
In the syrup?
Yeah, well, to continue to do it. But what we learned is once you get dunked in syrup, you got to bring on the next person because no one wants to see somebody that's already been in syrup get dunked again.
It's over, right?
It's over.
It's a one-shot deal.
So the next time we do it, we need multiple people and personalities to do it because, what would stink is if you're the person and one ball's thrown, down you go.
Yeah, which was not the case in your case. There was a lot of folks, right, that had tried before somebody finally got it.
Too much. I always say it's like Nate dipped in Nate sauce, and Jacob just said
too much Nate sauce.
Too much Nate sauce.
How much did you raise, by the way? What was the?
It was almost $2,000.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, it is.
Cool.
Yeah,
good for you guys, man. What a great way. What a great concept of just doing something.
The Canadians. There's a firewood processing company that makes splitters and stuff called Easton Made. They're really well built machines, really good reputation. They were catty corner to us. Is that kitty corner? How do you say it? You're from New York area.
Yeah.
I don't
Is
know.
that a New York thing?
It is. Well, I just figure streets, a lot
Yeah.
of streets.
It was across the street,
Yeah, but it was the angular way.
diagonal.
Yeah.
Kitty. I think you're right. I think it is kitty corner.
Kitty corner.
Yeah.
So they're Canadian, and they came over like at night after the show was over, and we were there, and they came over and they wanted to make sure it was real, and it was like mind blowing to him. Like, oh my gosh! He goes, "That's a lot of maple syrup," and he threw a number out, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's probably right in Canadian." Like, the Canadian.
How many gallons was it?
It was 500 gallons.
Oh
Of
my
syrup.
god,
It was a lot.
that's a lot of syrup. Hey Max,
She's all right now. I gave her a treat.
why don't you give her a treat, man? She's in.
Can you believe it's like we're halfway through? Like it goes quick.
Oh, I could do this all day.
It's fun.
In fact,
Yeah.
I think I do this.
This is what you do for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we're gonna do this tomorrow for 5.5 hours.
That's true. That's
Right.
true. We talk. What else? Topics, guys? Anything you want to hear? Talk about? Every time I bump the table, I apologize. It's my feet are up on.
So while we're waiting for a topic, I mentioned that we're going to do this tomorrow for 5.5 hours because we're going on a road trip. We're on a mission tomorrow
Yes, we are.
for this Craft Maple Brew Fest. There is a beer in Chicago that has to be part of this event.
Yes.
Bissell Maple Stout. Am I
It's
right
just
about
called
that?
Bissell Stout.
Bissell Stout.
Yeah,
It's
Bissell
like
Stout.
Bissell Sprouts.
Yes. We just shorten it. Right
Yeah.
There.
Who has time to say Bissell Maple Stout?
Yep,
Because
just
life
like
is short. You got to be
Bissell
there.
Stout.
Goose Island,
Goose Island made a beer called Bissell Stout.
Yeah.
Um,
award winning, like one.
Yeah, well, it's Bourbon County Stout,
Right.
aged 2 years in a maple bourbon barrel from a well-known distillery, Buffalo Trace,
I heard of them.
and they aged this beer not 1 year but 2 years, and they're going to launch. They were at the time. They said they were going to launch a small bottle launch, so it'd be like a limited release. And they're cool. They're like, "Hey, come get one.
Yeah.
We can't ship it to you. You got to come get it."
Come get one. Not
'Cause it's
not a
only
bottle, like
licensed-
we're picking up.
It's licensed in the state of Illinois, not
Yeah.
Ohio.
We're getting a keg.
Yeah.
Yeah. Driving to Chicago tomorrow.
Yep. So
Pick this thing
even
up.
though Bill said there's 9 breweries, really there's kind of 10.
10 breweries.
Yeah, there it
That's
is.
like that was the somebody asked before what's one of the most that Toppling Goliath is exclusive, right? Some of the or they
Yeah, Toppling Goliath has the #1 rated beer on Beer Advocate.
Yeah.
So it's it's called Kentucky Bourbon Brunch Stout. And Clark Louie, the first year, he's the owner of Toppling Goliath. The first year we had the event, I'm like, "Clark, I need you here." This guy was so cool. He sent me these like really rare beers on the secondary market, meaning like once it goes into some of the private individual's hands, it
Yeah.
can be sold for like $1,000. And he was so cool. He sent me one. We just had a phone conversation.
Yeah.
And he sent me one. And the guys from Erie Better Beer Bureau, who had a YouTube channel and helped me start the Craft Maple Brew Fest, like in 2018, came to our facility and were like, "Nate, do you know how much that beer's worth?" I'm like,
no idea.
"No, do you want to drink
Yeah.
it?"
Yeah.
They're like,
That's
"Yeah."
what you do.
Yeah. And they were like, their hands were shaking.
I was there.
You
know
had
that story?
one?
I was there that day. Remember we were
You
in
were
the-
there.
Yeah, and this is what happened. This is the story. And I told you this is my life. And that is my life. Like tomorrow, we're literally driving to Chicago and then back to pick up this beer. That day, I had just come out of the woods. I was hunting for 3 days. And I had just come out of the woods and we were basically hunting and drinking Busch Light.
And then you had a real
And then I came
Barrel
there, and
beer.
that day he said, "No, you got to stop here on the way back." And I got these guys there in town, and hey, we're gonna drink this $1,000 beer. You want to drink a $1,000 beer? I was like,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been living off of Busch Light for 3 days. Why wouldn't I want to drink
Yeah.
it? That's what happens. That is
It's really good.
and it was really
But some of the brewers that are coming, like there's a brewer from Ashtabula, Clove and Hoof.
Yeah.
Like Ryan
Like
has
that guy.
made
Ryan's good.
one of the best barrel aged beers I've ever had.
Yeah.
And he only made like 53 gallons.
and
I'm
he's
like,
bringing that, right?
he's bringing other beers.
Yeah.
Like, he's only made that once. So
And
Bob
his-
says, "Geez, Nate, 500 gallons is a good season for me." Yeah, me too, dude. Like, that's a lot of syrup. I know.
You got to be dedicated to you were dedicated to the idea.
Yeah.
Once a guy says out loud,
I'm
"I
gonna-
want to swim in syrup," there's no turning back.
More than that is I had a lot of people help me do it. So
Yeah.
those enablers, thank you. They helped me, achieve a dream.
Yeah.
Lifelong dream.
It was cool.
So now we have 10. We're up to 10.
Nice.
The most I think I've ever had is like 26.
Not on election night.
No, election night's tough.
Yeah.
I get it.
But it's awesome to see folks. So where are some of these folks from? Where's Bob from? And
Bob is from Vermont.
got it.
Nick is from Western New York. Bill's from Wisconsin.
Apparently.
You're from New York State.
Yeah.
To Illinois to Ohio. Like, what was the?
Yeah, I'm originally from New York. Been with the Boy Scouts for 26, going on 27 years. Might be right in there. I've been here 6, by the way. I'm in my 7th year. Isn't that crazy?
It's blink of an eye.
It went fast, yeah. I was started in Rhode Island in the 90s. And I was in New York City for a while, and then back to Long Island where I grew up. Then I went to Philadelphia, had great years in Philadelphia. And then, as I like to say, I got sent to Joliet, Illinois for doing bad behavior, 3 to 5 in Joliet for bad behavior. And I was in Chicago, and then I found Cleveland, and we fell in love with Northeast Ohio. It's been great.
This is such a nice community over here.
Isn't it beautiful?
It is.
Well, just in all of Northeast Ohio. It's just great here. I love it. But that quote, going to Joliet, 3 to 5 for bad behavior, it reminds me of the trip we're going on tomorrow. Nate and I have been talking about. It's like our own rendition of the Blues Brothers.
Yep.
Mission, going early in the morning tomorrow, getting up, we're zipping out there. It's going to be great. We got a lot to talk about.
We do.
Yeah,
I don't think there'll be any lack of discussion.
No. And I got a new flannel shirt that I'm going to be rocking for the thing. I got a good one too. A new flannel when I was down with Bill. We were down in Kentucky just 2 or 3 weeks ago. I was at we were at Limestone Branch Distillery. You know what bourbon they make?
No.
Yellowstone. Which
like,
we had
like the show.
Like the show, but not named after the show. Named after Yellowstone
National
Park.
Okay.
In fact, you can see it right there. See those ones with the waterfall right there?
I do. Yeah.
Yep. But we had that when we were in Kentucky together, you and I, when we were in Providence, Kentucky at Wing Haven. That's when we were first introduced to that Yellowstone, and that's great stuff.
It's really good.
Not to plug another. I think we plugged enough about the stuff tonight. But
I feel like it's what is that? Wayne's World, where he's like, we don't take any sponsorship, and he's like Pepsi, they're holding it all.
I love it. It'll be fun.
So 11, we're picking up one.
So you said 20 was the
26 was the highest I had.
What was the topic? Like what was the?
It was just like this. Yeah, it was like it might have been the first one we did. It was just like this though. It was Jacob has done every live stream with me. So I don't like doing them alone. I don't. It's so much easier with somebody.
Yeah.
To discuss, and then I can watch this while you're having a discussion. Like, it's not fun to do live streams on your own.
It's tough. I mean, I don't know. And then you got to talk to yourself.
Yeah, imagine if you were here.
It's the same thing. You're just talking to other people.
Yeah,
But I love too the stuff that comes in on the chat of just things going on with people and.
Like, is this what you thought it would be?
Yeah, well, we've done different live streams for the scouts and stuff, but it's generally very specific to
a certain topic.
here's the issue, or here's the the topic and its questions. So this is what I love about this it was when you were saying, hey, we're going to do this. It was more like a Seinfeld episode, and then you're like, yeah, it's just not. I said, what's it about? He said, well, it's not about anything. And then
it's true.
So they say in such. So we have a show about nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm down with that. I mean, like I said, it's just. We can either do this here, or we can sit 5 feet from here on the couch and do the exact same thing.
I like this though. This is perfect. This is you need a YouTube channel, Mark. You do.
I'll just hang out on this one for a while.
It is a lot of work. Ask Jacob.
Yeah,
it's a lot of stinking work.
All that stuff, man, and then the mill. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on.
It's true.
Yeah, it's good.
Not too much. Jacob would have come. He's got to teach this week. Teachers get like no time off during the year, so like. My wife took her first day off. She's taken 2 days off in 20 years.
Unbelievable.
Like she just won't take a day off.
Isn't that the kind of the unwritten rule?
Yeah, like
you're supposed to be there, and then like in theory, the benefit is when schools close during the holidays and the summer and all that stuff. But it's still hard. I mean, you want to be able to go do something.
Yeah, sometimes
the rest of the family's going on a vacation someplace. You want to be able to do that, or.
That's a good question. So Nate, how close are you to Urbana, Ohio? I believe that's out by Springfield. That is where Robert Rothschild, isn't that, or not Robert is it Robert Rothschild? It was they do like sauces, like jellies, jams. I want to say they're in Urbana, Ohio. Been there.
133 miles from here. No,
Yeah, it's-
169 miles from here.
It's like near
Almost
Dayton.
3 hours. Yeah, 2 hours and 51 minutes.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
ridiculous.
south.
But I can understand why
West
somebody
from-
from Vermont would ask that question, because
Why would they ask it?
well, there's 2 counties in Ohio that are the size of Vermont. You know, if you say you're in Vermont,
Yeah, right.
it's like it's kind of a small state.
Yeah, but there's got to be more to it, don't you think? Like he didn't pick Urbana out of his hat, right? Like,
But I was
what do you
about
know?
to bash Vermont. And you
Oh,
did.
I didn't follow. I was saying you would say I could see. I get it. Well, you did actually.
I
You still
did.
got it.
I did. I jabbed just a
But,
little
hey,
bit.
Bob, what's in Urbana, Ohio?
Yeah, what is in Urbana?
Because I was looking quick and I don't, hard to see there. What is
Dave Chappelle lives near there somewhere.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Looks like a nice little city.
Yellow Springs. I think it's called Yellow Springs.
He's back up here soon, isn't he? I think he's, or is he? I thought I saw that he was back on tour. And
Yeah,
now we're promoting Dave Chappelle's tour.
we are.
Stick
We are.
around. Who knows what
We are not
promoting
sponsored by
today.
Dave Chappelle, but I would be if that was something he would do.
I saw him when he was in Chicago.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Like how his mind works. Like he's just
It was crazy.
another. Yeah.
And it was
They
just,
always say you don't want to go on after him. Like it's the
It's
worst.
lights out.
Yeah.
those guys. He was Arsenio Hall introduced him. No, it wasn't Arsenio. I made that up. Who was it? They had all just come from, it was a crazy story. They'd all just come from like a funeral or something like that. They had just buried, doesn't matter. I'm
Like
not
a
gonna-
comedian or
Yeah,
something.
it was another comedian, and I was downtown, and somebody offered me to go tickets, and these guys were just like they were.
Well, the tickets today would be like a lot.
You know what was interesting to me about that? And think about this. This wasn't that long ago, but it was pre-COVID. Not that it has anything to do with it. Just putting in time frame.
He was doing shows for free to help people like stay in business.
Is that right?
Yeah.
They made us all put our phones in those.
So no one could video it.
Yeah, you had to put your phone in. Like you couldn't have your phone. You couldn't do anything. Like
Yeah.
that's not even a thing anymore, right? That people ever are willing to
Give
part
up their
ways
phone.
with for that amount of time. You know,
Right.
a couple people were kind of like, like, oh, I'm not doing it. Like, oh, okay.
See ya.
Well, and yeah, and like then quickly you convert pretty quickly at that point if your option is either in or
NE
out.
Farms is from Ontario, Canada.
Nice.
Awesome.
Welcome.
NE Farms. So when did you start watching the channel? I'm always learning and researching like how people find us. It's just an interesting, like other channels. They go to Google and they type in how to, and something
comes
pops
up.
up. Yeah.
And how long is I know that the channel's now over, or the followers, or it's what now? It's like 1,000.
We're getting close to 1,200.
Yeah. How long has it been now? Is it 2 years?
1 year of earnest like editing. Like Jacob and I sat down a year ago. We're like, hey, this is the plan. We're gonna do a video a week. And it's been hard. It's been a lot of work. But the channel's been in existence, but we didn't purposefully create something. So yeah, we're monetized. We make $1.37 a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's almost enough to cover a cell phone bill. Like it's
It's legit though. I mean, that's
like finally doing, like our goal was to be monetized, and we fully exceeded our expectations. We've met some really cool people that have channels with 300,000, 400,000, and meeting YouTubers. Like I tell everybody, I'm like the most unpopular YouTuber because I get to meet these cool people because there's not a lot of maple syrup channels.
No.
There's firewood, there's everything but maple. Like there's one that is active all year round. Like
Right.
Nikki does it, but she does it during maple season, then she's done. But we stay active.
Are you blown away by, you say it's a lot of work? Like, did you estimate how much work it would be, or is it really a lot more than you thought in terms of?
It's a lot. It's a learning curve.
Yeah.
So like Jacob and I talk often because he helps me edit. And what happens is when you're the guy doing the work and filming, like doing video, you don't think about the guy that has to edit all this.
Whole different animal.
But I've been editing lately, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy's like a saint for putting up with the crap I've been doing. Because it's like 85 gigs for like one video.
Yeah. 15
And
minutes.
he's so polite. He's just like, it took him like 9 months to say, dude, like I call it our intervention, where he finally is like, Nate, we have to.
Something's got to change.
Yeah.
Something's got to change.
And I'm like, oh crap, you're right. So now that I've been editing, like there's times in his life he gets really busy, and there's times in my life I get really busy. Like maple season's hard on me, so He usually takes like editing during maple season, and yeah, it's been an interesting journey. It's way more. I recently met a guy. You know, he and his wife have a channel called Spencer's Lawn Care, and they're in Canton, Ohio.
Interesting.
And that's their business. Like they have a lawn care business, but YouTube, like dealing and working with them, they're like pros. Like there's no wasted movement. They don't want to spend a ton of time editing, so he makes it. Like Kevin can tell you, he made 3 videos in one day.
Unbelievable. He's just got
Yeah, he came to our place, Kevin's place, and then back to our place at the end. He made 3 videos. Kevin's right. YouTube is a ton of work. Plus, it makes a 10-minute job a 2-hour job. That's true.
I can only imagine.
Because you keep moving the cameras, and it frustrates anyone that's working with you because they don't get it. They just want to get the job done.
Yeah.
There's oftentimes when I'm like, oh, Austin, yeah, man, I didn't have the camera on. I need you to pick that up and go set it back down so I can get a shot of it.
And say that funny thing again. Like, do that thing.
That's tough. That's a tough one to like redo.
Yeah.
You're just better off. That's why I have the camera just running. So Any Farm says, about 2 months ago, love your content. How did you find us? That's what I'm curious about. How did you find us?
And make syrup there as well.
I heard they make syrup in Canada.
You did that?
I think they have.
Is it any good?
I know this. They make 70% of the world's maple syrup.
Unbelievable.
But here's the interesting thing: like Costco sells more maple syrup than the United States makes. 30% of the world's crop. 30% of the world's crop is sold at Costco.
Of maple syrup.
Yeah, that's how big it is.
What's the what do you know about down south and stuff? When we were dealing with the Scouts own stuff, and we were obviously Boy Scouts of America's nationwide, we're trying to get the Scouts own thing go down, and
something like you guys really jumped up. Like it just this year you guys moved a ton. Like, what happened?
And actually one of the biggest councils that we partner with is in Florida.
Okay.
But in part of what like in places like Texas and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, maple syrup's not so big down here. I'm like, I don't understand. Like they don't eat pancakes and waffles and stuff.
Well, they grew up on like sorghum, molasses. What I think happens is snowbirds, northerners are moving south. Like I really think maple syrup, like our number one state that we sell maple syrup is Florida.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because of one restaurant group, they use a ton of maple syrup there. But if you think about it, who makes up Florida? Like you look at the population growth.
I know, yeah.
Like Ohio, Michigan, New York.
Yeah.
Like
in New York, it's the state law that when you turn 65,
you have to move. Yeah.
So that's where.
And my
family all went down there, and when they turned 65.
My favorite story is somebody once told me that when you retire, if you're in those states, you have to move to Florida. And that was a rumor started about everyone who lives in San Diego. Because if you've been to San Diego, you're like, why are people moving to Florida?
True story.
11. That's our top.
Nice. Yeah.
But it'll give us stats like there might be like 26, 30 different people.
And by the way, in terms of the competition, you're the clear winner, and I'll tell you the reason why. I might have had that early push.
Once you get maple farmers from Canada, they're
not only that, but my supporters, so to speak, they just came to let me know that they were here.
Yeah, at the beginning.
We stopped by. We said some things.
Yeah, we won't say anything like, "Hey, if you're still here and Mark, like say something." Type something.
Now it's the loyalists, which is great because you've worked hard to to build this up and get some good folks there.
Kevin and I talk almost daily because he's a YouTuber and his channel's really shot up. If you guys are on this, check out Kevin's website, YouTube page called Bionic Life. I'd say he's double. Yeah. I sent Jacob a bunch of footage and he's like, dude, this is crap.
I was wondering, by the way.
Well, he said that like I purposefully made a video because I guess you're supposed to like plan and organize things. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a fire, aim, ready guy. And Jacob's like, hey, why don't you have a purpose? And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do that purposefully. And I filmed like 3 episodes in 3 days.
I was just figured out, by the way, I kept on seeing you refer to Bionic Life as Kevin.
Yes.
And obviously I'm not in the know.
Right, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. But then when you just said his channel, Bionic Life, then I got that he was there. John wants to know, by the way, are we going to have any entertainment on Saturday? You know about the entertainment on
I
Saturday?
know that there is somebody there.
Live band, 2-piece, Baker's Basement, fantastic. They're kind of actually become our house band for events. They play all kinds of great.
Do they play at the
from-
Bourbon event?
They do play at the Bourbon and Barbecue event in April, but they do a great job. And they're fun and they're kind of they can go from being like in the background to all of a sudden some great song that they're playing. Kind of so they're perfect for this, and it's the perfect vibe for I think what we're going for.
Good deal.
And that venue, by the way, I'm kind of excited about this. People are bringing a lot of these brewers are bringing their tents, and we're gonna.
It's common. Yeah, they all have like tents and
yeah,
they have
like
swag,
the pop-ups and
giveaway,
stuff. Yeah, and we're gonna decorate this place out. We're gonna, that event space is used for a lot of stuff.
It's bare bones.
Yeah, but we're gonna make it. Yeah, we're going kind of from the bingo hall to we're gonna make it super sweet. So
It's like Jay Leno's garage without all the cars.
Yeah, exactly. It's a but hey, it's a blank canvas, which is great too, right? Because you can do anything you want with it. So it's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah, like we've been on here for 50 minutes, but you're on, right? Like it drains you a little bit.
Well,
You use energy.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, you're expending some energy to do it, no question about it.
Man.
It's good stuff though. It's fun just talking to folks and hearing what they're up to. And
It's about being consistent. I try to do one a month.
do you so what do you do? You pick the date in advance or
you try to give them a heads up.
Yeah.
One of the things with this is it's a different format. They're used to seeing me like this is live. Like there's no filter. I think that what this helps with is they actually get to know me better. Like that I'm not doing 500 takes because I'm an idiot.
Not
they kind of get to know like, oh, this guy actually can have a conversation and he kind of knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Totally different.
Yeah. I love too, by the way, I think about the videos is my favorite is when you're in the car, when you're in the truck.
Driving.
Yeah, I don't know why, but something about that is like
because it's consistent.
You think so?
Yeah, I try to. You're talking about like when I'm like talking.
Yeah. I think it's about like I love the stuff at the mill. I love all that stuff, but
talking in the truck.
I guess that's the difference, right? So when here's probably
that's in every episode. That's why.
Yeah, well, that's what you meant by consistent, which I understand what consistent, but I didn't know what you meant about. I think the other part is that that's it. Just occurs to me now that that's the time that you're interacting with me directly, right?
Right.
I didn't think about it like that.
True.
But the point is, you're driving, you're talking to me directly. Whereas when you get to the site and you're cutting the wood, you
don't see me anymore.
No, now you're executing. So it's kind of like I'm on the phone with you or whatever. Or I'm sitting there and you're going through the whole. Hey,
like I'm talking. I am.
I gotta go do this.
At the beginning, it was so weird, but now I know I'm talking to you. Like I can picture the people I'm talking to.
Yeah.
It's so much easier to have a conversation with a camera because you know who you're talking to now. At the beginning, it's like you have no idea. It was so weird talking to a camera at the beginning, but now I'm like, I'm talking to Mark, talking to Bill.
Yeah.
Talking to my mom sometimes. She says my videos are too long.
What does she recommend is the
how long would she watch? Anybody, the weird thing about having a YouTube channel is anybody that knows you, like they're afraid to tell you they don't watch, but like you live with me, Mom. Like you don't need to watch the channel and know what I'm like. So a lot of people are afraid to tell you, like, there's no way you could possibly have the time. Like my dad's not gonna watch my YouTube channel. He just isn't.
I like when he's on the YouTube channel.
I do too.
Personally. Those are some of my favorite.
I do too. Yeah. One of my favorite things is I got a funny story. I noticed my dentist, who's since retired, she bought the practice of the original dentist. This is one of my favorite stories. So anyone that's still on that's at 53 minutes. I sat down in a chair. It's the first time meeting her. She goes, I can fix that gap in your front teeth. And I said, I didn't know it was broken. And it was like very quiet for a while.
It's like, nice to meet you.
Like we have great insurance. Like I could have whatever money, like I don't see it as a problem. My kids, one of them's going to have the same teeth as me. And I'm like, if I get mine fixed, then he's going to get I just own it.
Strahan made
he made Letterman, Strahan. Like I'm not even that extreme. It's just that's one of my favorite stories because anybody that watches this channel, like you see my teeth a lot. Like I got a big gap. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, that's how comfortable I am.
Rocking it.
Yeah, my dentist. I can fix that. I didn't know it was broken.
I think the question is it still your dentist?
Well, she retired. She
Oh, I
sold it.
Oh,
Like,
she
she
sold it. I
was.
thought I got it.
She bought it and then sold it to a young girl who's now running it. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite stories. That's
She
amazing.
sold it to a young girl who doesn't ask questions.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Those things.
She can spell teeth at this point. She's
Yeah.
very out of college, like just starting.
I love it.
55. Give you 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Last call. I'll give you an hour.
So, what is the date of the next?
Live stream?
Yeah.
I need to plan it like further ahead, I think.
Yeah. Well, now you got the holidays coming up too, right? So it becomes
Yeah,
a
it's
little
tough.
bit tricky. Not tough, but tricky, right? I mean, you got to put it all in. So,
Yes, I have. I would like to go to Island Pond. That's a good question. Hey, Nate, have you considered visiting Sweet Tree Maple on your next road trip? That's in, what do they call it? Like Northern Kingdom of Vermont. It's the largest maple operation in the country.
you were just up there, weren't you? A couple.
I haven't gone. I've been even
No, I
further
went to
north.
Vermont, I guess. But are you up there regularly, or
I was up in New Brunswick.
Yeah.
Like even further past Maine.
the family was with you? I think too, weren't they? A couple.
I bring them as much as I can.
That was
But
in.
I have considered Sweet Tree. I would like to see it. I've had friends that have gone there. I don't know. You know, I don't know anyone there. I don't know how friendly they are. You know, if I just said, hey, I'd like to come, you know, take a tour and make a video. People are strange. Like they have feelings and stuff. So
I hate when people do that.
yeah, like some people are okay with being filmed. And thanks, Kev. We'll catch you.
Appreciate it, man. Looking forward to the trip. It's gonna be awesome.
It is.
We
Glad
should
you're-
do this the whole way. We just put the computer right on the dashboard, and
Hey, people would watch it.
that's
True.
I'm fired up for Goose Island. Actually, I think it's going to be great. I told you quickly, by the way, not to derail, but years ago when I first moved to Illinois, I was after the interview, I was in Midway Airport, and I was at Harry Carey's. You've been to Harry Carey's, right?
Harry.
Yeah. And holy cow, is that him? That's him, isn't
That's
it?
him.
Yeah. So we had just found out that we were moving from Philadelphia to Illinois, and we were getting a bite to eat, and we sit down, and the bartender says, "What can I get you?" And I said, "I don't know. What do you have that's local?" He said, "Are you from here?" I said, "No, I'm not from here, but I'm moving here." And he said, "Well, you know, how about a 312?" And I'd never had a 312 before, and that was the first Chicago beer that I'd ever had in Goose Island. So I had a couple more of those in the 6 years.
It's a
lived out
summer
there and
beer.
stuff.
It's like a summer.
Yeah, it's like in the I guess it could
It's a
be
weeded
but-
beer.
Yeah, weeded beer, right? Yeah, it's good. So we might maybe have one of those tomorrow. at some
Maybe.
point. Yeah, could be. Could be
You
cool.
can only have so many barrel aged beers, really.
Yeah, well, they're still good though. So I'm excited about that too.
Where are we staying?
At Cedric's place.
That's what Bill was saying.
Yeah,
Like,
you love that. He's in River North.
you said you grew up with him.
Actually, my wife grew up. She knew him longer than I did, but we met through scouting right here at 10 Mile River up, and that's a big scout camp in upstate New York, and that's where we met years ago.
No kidding.
Working there, yeah, great dude.
You're
So-
all right.
Now, yeah, we're a couple minutes.
We have
off,
1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Yeah.
Lou Perry here. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you want to come say hi to everybody? There's a camera right here. You got to say hi, introduce yourself. Who are you?
Oh, I'm Brayden.
Awesome. You are forever on the internet.
There you go.
Ooh.
You're on Mr. Nate's YouTube channel.
Elizabeth Leatherman says hi, Kelly.
Oh yeah.
Billy told me to say, make sure I said hi to you. Awesome. Well, thanks, everybody. I think this is good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, this is a good time to end.
No, we're just finishing up.
I'm happy. I got to work on my how to make it work through my phone. I just haven't figured it out yet.
I hate that couple of minutes of panic right before you're about to go.
Yeah, like I was like, we were here plenty of time, 20
Yeah.
minutes, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
why? It's customary for the guest to sing. I love this.
You should
Who?
do it.
You're the guest.
Brayden.
Oh, you're the guest.
Happy trails to you.
And that's funny. Sing us out. Sing us out. He did. I done. See ya.